Sunworld Hon Thom, or Sunworld Phu Quoc, as branding seems to be trending towards that direction. Seems to be one of the most remote parks in the world. This park requires taking a cable car across the ocean to reach what has been described as a nature park. But don't let the marketing fool you. This is going to be a full-fledged amusement park in the heart of a huge tourist area on Phu Quoc Island. Let me explain everything you need to know in this review. For coaster enthusiasts, Sunworld Hon Thom got on our map with the addition of Roaring Timbers, a solid-looking Great Coasters International coaster that opened with the park, and that I ranked as my third highest bucket list coaster in Southeast Asia. However, the investment in this coaster was only a splash in the bucket, compared to the $200 million investment in the cable car system, as well as an estimated $500 million that have been put into the complex, including both Sunworld Hon Thom and Sunset Town. To get to this Sunworld, you will need to go through Sunset Town. There is a local fishing village at the south of Phu Quoc Island. Then, next to it, there is the brand new Sunset Town, which is being built out to resemble a Mediterranean village. To reach this area, you have to take a separate road. So, if you were to spend the night in the fishing village, it would still be a 5 or so kilometer drive over to the cable car in the morning. There are also shuttles, which I believe to be free, that will take you from Dang Dong, the main city on Phu Quoc Island, though I personally stayed in Sunset Town around my visit to Sunworld. Sunset Town still has a lot of empty shops, but there are a fair amount of hotels considering the demand, so it is easy to stay there if you want walking access to the cable car. The restaurants that have been built so far are mainly expensive ones along the sea, so expect to pay about average Western prices for food if you're staying in this area. Sunset Town is also a short distance from Phu Quoc Prison, the main Vietnam American War museum on the island, and should cost no more than 100,000 dong, 150 baht or $4.50 each way for a cab or grab over to visit. With the quality of the roads, you can probably walk if you're okay with walking 5 kilometers. The entrance building for the cable car is the main star of Sunset Town, as it has Roman theming on the outside that is absolutely dazzling, and a beautiful inside that really started to get me excited for just how great Sunworld would be. Behind this entrance is the Kissing the Stars Stadium, which houses the end-of-day sunset spectacular that is a separate upcharge. It was only operating on Wednesdays and Saturdays during my visit, so I missed seeing it as I did not plan my trip to Sunworld to visit on one of these days. I would, however, suggest planning accordingly so that you can see it. Prices in Vietnam seem to be hard to nail down online, especially in English, and doing so could cause you to pay more or possibly less. The price I paid for purchasing the tickets at the ticket booth inside the building was 600,000 dong, or 880 baht, or $25.50, which is very reasonable for a Southeast Asian amusement park. Additionally, you can add on a lunch buffet for 200,000 dong, or 300 baht, or $8.70. Given the price of food in this area and Sunworld as a whole, this seems to be the best bang for your buck if you're planning to spend the whole day at Sunworld. The cable car experience, about a 15-minute trek over the ocean and various islands, is absolutely fantastic. You get a quick look at Sunset Town, a nice look at the neighboring fishing village, the ability to go over various fishing boats, and a chance to see some of the other small remote islands that are between the island of Phu Quoc and Hon Thom. The best way I can describe this experience was watching an aerial landscape video, but since this was real life, everything was way more clear. 4K resolution doesn't come close to this experience. Even considering how good Roaring Timbers is, the cable car experience is easily the best part of this park, and likely will be far into the future. As currently billed, you are mainly paying for the cable car, with the rest of the attractions on the island currently being included for free, though individual pay options look to be being installed as Sunworld develops. Hotels or additional island complexes are currently under construction as of my visit, and there is no current hotel to stay on the island, which seems like a miss from before visiting, but with how nice Sunset Town is not an issue at all. Upon entering, you're dropped off in the entrance area called Tiki Village. Currently, this just has the long, thin koi pond, as other areas of this park are still under construction, including the Lantern House. According to the map, you should be able to do a loop and walk around this area, but due to the construction, everyone was funneled into the nearby water park. Hurricane's Fury, the drop tower that is one of 3 attractions in Exotica Village, is also located near this area and was closed due to the ongoing construction. Exotica Village currently is difficult to find as you have to go through the water park. You can either access this area from the side of the buffet building, or they currently have a gate opened at the back of Monkey Beach, which would be the quickest way to access and get to Roaring Timbers. Besides the coaster, Eagle's Eye is the only other attraction in this area, which offers a nice aerial view of the island. Since you just got nice high views from the cable car, this isn't entirely needed, but it is a fine and well-themed family attraction. My main complaint is, due to the lack of people riding the rides, it made it impossible for us to get a good high view of Roaring Timbers. My wife rode Eagle's Eye for an hour straight while I was riding Roaring Timbers and never got up high while Roaring Timbers was going. Operations at this park prioritized waiting for more full loads, which is understandable given that few people on the island were riding the rides. Roaring Timbers would routinely wait 10 to 15 minutes between cycles, though if a large group showed up, they would start the dispatch process. There are lockers down at the base of Roaring Timbers, and you have to scan your cable car ticket each time to ride the coaster. They will allow you to store your cell phone and other small items on the station platform, but they take safety seriously and will check for a bullet in your pocket to make sure you have stored your phone properly. The entrance is also annoyingly a 10 to 20-minute walk from the water park and the rest of things you'd like to do while at Sunworld, so it is a pain to get back and forth. The coaster itself is fantastic, with very solid pacing that switches between nice pops of airtime and strong positive Gs on the various turns. I'm not a fan of Millennium Flyer trains, and larger Great Coaster International coasters overall, but this coaster delivered in fantastically solid ways. As for drawbacks, the first drop was okay, but not great given its size, and there was a noticeable shuffle in many parts of the coaster, which, given how new it is concerning about how well maintained this all-wood coaster will be into the future. But for me, it rode slightly better than an RMC Raptor, and I have a full review of this coaster if you'd like to know more. There is a small beach area, Bai Tay Beach, on the island as well, which, given the current construction, isn't one of the better beaches you'll find on Phu Quoc, but which eventually will be a nice plus to this remote island experience. If you're looking on Google Maps, it lists Hon Thom Island as the island south of Sunworld, but Sunworld is on the correct island. Google Maps shows roads on the island as well, but really the only thing on the island is Sunworld and maybe a few local houses. This is an amusement park that literally bought its own tropical island. Currently, the main section for thrill seekers is Aquatopia, the included water park. From reading reviews, this park seems to be strict on their swimsuit policy, as many places in Southeast Asia are, as they do not allow swimsuits with metal on them on their water slides. I bought a compliant swimsuit in advance, but you should be able to buy one at Sunworld itself if needed. There are also rough stone walking paths around most of the water park, so my feet were hurting by the end of the day. There were places to put your flip-flops at the bottom of slide towers, but that still won't solve all of the places you will need to walk over. Most of the paths were in the shade, so they at least weren't too hot. Sadly, many of the better slides seem to be closed on my visit, including Medusa's Trap, Poseidon's Revenge, King and Queen Cobra, and Python Plunge. The family playground and its 3 listed kiddie slides were also closed for what appeared to be renovations. Anaconda was operating, but I did not meet the 4-person minimum to ride, so I was unable to experience it. Taipan is another 4-person raft slide, but I was able to experience it by riding with a group of 3. It was thrilling enough, but I'm just not a huge fan of these types of water slides. All the other attractions, though, are accommodating to single riders. The park has a few basics that weren't too stellar. Lost Lagoon is a relatively unthemed lazy river, though it does seem to have a section that stretches towards the family playgrounds that was closed. Paradise Bay is a rather basic wave pool, though it is a relaxing place to rest. There was a nice tower of 4 tube slides that did only open half the slides for half the day, so just check the clearly posted ride times for these slides. Tropical Twister is an enclosed water slide with lights, but with the heat inside the tube, it just didn't do much for me. Pearl Canyon is an enjoyable and tame water slide that really hit the spot as just a nice attraction to have. Caves of Waves has various enclosed pods that you can go through, and I even got turned around backwards for some of it. While solid, it wasn't overly thrilling. Golden Waves is a smaller bowl slide, though I really enjoyed the bowl section on this one. Octopus is a basic mat slide that has a long walk up to the top of the tower. Normally, these are some of my favorite water slides, but this just didn't do it for me. Flowrider is included in admission, so make sure to check out this unique attraction. However, even with the non-existent lines that I encountered throughout my visit, this one did have a long line throughout the day. Sea Dragon is their water coaster and has a normal double tube instead of a special water coaster tube. This lets you get good airtime pops on the drops, though the upward sections weren't as enjoyable as other water coasters that I've been on. Also, the weird turn at the end made me almost get stuck a couple of times. Snake Fight was my favorite, as the 2 trapdoor slide tower that you can find at other parks. The straight down one was scary, but I preferred the thrills of going fast around the enclosed tube more. Overall, how good is Sunworld Hon Thom? Currently, this is an amusement park under construction that has a relatively solid water park, though some attractions within even that can be closed depending on when you visit. Roaring Timbers, the main attraction for coaster enthusiasts, seems to be running most days, though at a relatively spaced out dispatch rate, making marathoning many laps difficult. Though you should be able to get 4 to 5 laps per hour, depending on crowds. As the rest of this area will become more fleshed out in the future, Sunset Town and Sunworld will, one day, be a truly world-class destination for those seeking a remote getaway as well as thrills. For now though, it likely isn't a huge priority for thrill seekers unless you're already in the Southeast Asia area, really care about cable cars, or want to experience Roaring Timbers before it gets too rough. How beautiful do you find Sunset Town? Which water slides are your favorite at a water park? What attractions do you hope to see added to Sunworld in the future? Let me know, and as always, TRạ I.